they are going to be forced to play that very southern side, which, who knows, look, it's only phase 1. It could very easy pull hard down to the south next phase, and Fury could be looking strong. And
you'd be pulling a needle out of a haystack if we did get a milli circle here, though, to be fair, so I wouldn't be betting my money on it. Puchills! Oh, he didn't think there was going to be someone in that Wizzy, and Hanzyy says, thanks very much. I'll take that extra kill, make life a bit more difficult for dayTrade going forward in game 2. Can't quite land that finishing blow on Norrøns, who certainly was hanging on by a thread. Hasn't been a nice start to the week for dayTrade, and you know, I always look at this team and I always think that they offer or can offer so much, but it never really seems to come together.
Through Vest, burn through meds, all of that, it's so important, and that's something we're starting to see here from a lot of these teams with the pot shots that, sure, they probably won't be able to get kills out of them, but they'll do the damage. And look, I told you that southern shift, it's a possibility.
Yeah.
It isn't happening as badly as it could have done, but these southern teams now, they're feeling good about themselves.
Well, it sort of feels like you're an oracle, right? You said Fury might not be in a bad position with the southern shift here, and all of a sudden that is the case. I wouldn't have expected it myself, but here we are. BN United and Cerberus both jostling for position. Looks like Cerberus will move out, BN United will move in. Seems fair enough. Nice little exchange of positions. Both teams, I think, pretty happy with that. BN United gets to move forward, so too does Cerberus. Jalman! What? He gets the better of sSuspekT, the headshot as well as the seat swap, and that is MSC getting themselves a kill on the board. Sharper Esports. It's been tough going so far in week number 2, and that's not going to help. dayTrade might be suffering the same kind of thing. Veronica, a 1-for-1. Norrøns is on the floor, but the res coming through courtesy of Flash. Game home. Will not get anything out of this one.
Well, they've still got 3 players strong in a pretty strong position, but losing 1 is not ideal. That's the danger of rocking these splits. Klee in danger now if he decides to push this one, because Rogue is there with the shotgun. It is so deadly at close range. He's scouting out. He's trying to get the info. I think he knows that there's someone in there. He just isn't certain. Actually, no, he hasn't even spotted him out. So Easy Esports just going to be leaving the shack unchecked now. MS Shimbori, they could go for a little bit of a pinch here. They could do a lot of damage onto Easy Esports, and then when they try and take a bit of cover behind the shack, that's when Rogue hops out and starts doing the damage. Clear scouting. He's spotted out by Julio. As the headshot comes through, the damage connects, and there it is. Rogue, he peeks out wide, lands the shots, down goes Klee. Underhand nade coming out as well, confirms the flush. Can it take down shinV as well? Not quite, but it does the damage. The UA's launched into the air. Not finishing off the job, but it's still providing a lot of pressure. shinV now playing the backside of this hill, hoping that his teammates can get to him, but if he's not careful, made in Thailand down below might just be able to find the angle and get the kill.
Yeah, this doesn't look like it's going to be a back-to-back for Easy Esports the way they're going at the moment. Having lost a player already, MSC happy with what they've gotten out of that one. They'll start to move their way back away to relative safety. They'll have to be aware that Eagle 365 is coming into the northern side of them, but looks like Rogue is kind of keeping an eye on any potential rotation from the north, though. With the pump shotgun, I'm not sure what he's really going to be able to do there. So there's a bit, it is a little bit, considering the amount of teams that were hanging around in this area of the map. That is a pull and a half for ArkAngel Predator. I'm sure they were scratching their head as to what they were going to do on this rotation in, but now they don't necessarily have to worry about it quite so much.
It's going to be exciting to watch. First of all, though, we've got to watch Easy Esports trying to make the rotate through, because Cerberus are already going to be posted up. Izaki and Hymas just work together perfectly to finish off Smell, flushing him out immediately. They try and land some onto shinV as well. They do the damage, but no kill is confirmed as Easy Esports just sending it in. Going to play one of those dips, one of the few dips down on the southern side. Hope that it's not completely taken. shinV loses a tire, has top out of the vehicle as Flash with some flashy shots onto Y8. Now Easy Esports just completely split apart. shinV spotted out, he's pinned down. Y8 falls to Alec as the colony finish off the job. It's Easy Esports out in 16.
From first to last, that is the PUBG life sometimes. Easy Esports, it felt like everything was going their way on Miramar and nothing on ArkAngel. Opens the door for a team to overtake them. They didn't even get a single kill out of this round. So 11 is where they sit as Made in Thailand looks to breach BN United. Grenades going in all directions. Jacob is okay because that one thrown in from Dr. Logi didn't get cooked for long enough. Here though, Here's the breach into the compound, into the house. So we jump back over to Eagle365, finishing off 36 Cartel, player 4 down and finished off. But BN United still with 4 alive. Unicorn Phoenix might get their first taste of blood in week number 2. They were such a strong team in week 1. And this time they got 4 alive. ArkAngel might work out better for them than what we saw on Miramar.
Well, it could work out a whole lot better because look at this. Eagle365 are moving in from behind. Van has fallen, but Jekzy's there to open things up. sSuspekT are completely pinched right now. I like what Unicorn Phoenix were trying to do. They were trying to play it a little bit slow, make sure everyone was reset, but Van was already too split from the rest of the squad. Jekzy did fall. Hanzyy is there to finish off the job as sSuspekT just getting pinned from all around. Yet another squad is sending it over into this compound with BN United and Made in Thailand as they're just going to be able to play the backside of this hill. Ryu are up the hill doing what they can to try and third party, but no angle's being found. That angle with the grenade is no, and it takes down Dr. Logi, the staircase, saving the remaining 2 from death as the circle, well, it was phase 4. It had to shift off the water. It goes up to the north, and we knew that that was happening. We didn't know, though, that Simon was going to get caught with such a nasty Molotov by tNial. Now only 2 remaining players from BN United, with Duckman's in the top of the building above them. I didn't even notice this, Elfish.
I don't know if they've noticed it either, because Duckman's has been very quiet, very patient. YungB on the res at the moment. Duckman's is going to choose the time to strike as the res just gets finished off, but he hasn't quite found it very nicely. YungB will finish him off. He got wrecked a little bit by the handrail of the stairs, pushing his gun up, and it's all gone wrong for Made in Thailand. tNial has finished himself off with a Molotov. Duckman's is down now as well. The smoke's coming through, and BN United, I feel like they've gotten out of the boiling pot somehow. I don't know how they've managed to do it, but they're still alive with 3.
Honestly, that comes down to tNial right there. There was a smoke up. He tried to throw the Molotov in through the window, but obviously he couldn't see it with the placement of the smoke. It landed outside. He tried to make a push to work with his teammate, but no. Obviously, because of the smoke, he couldn't see the Molotov. It's really unfortunate, but BN United really making the most out of it now. Obviously, still have those Made in Thailand players to worry about, but you can't forget Ryu up to the north right now, sharing the compound with them. Everyone is rotating through. We knew we were going to see a lot of compound crashes. It's just such an open area of terrain. Is now Sharper moving through as well. Maximus goes down, so does Tanoy, knocked down the vehicles. It leaves Belmont in a really good position to try and, for Made in Thailand at least, to pit themselves up a kill point. He's pinned down, playing the backside, just hoping Made in Thailand do get distracted. Popping the bandages, you can tell he's limited in terms of utility. Insight opens up some shots of its own. As Cerberus are getting involved as well now, maybe not as directly, but still applying a lot of pressure onto these teams. If this circle goes to the west, well, all bets are off.
I think Cerberus is going to start to get involved a little bit more directly now that you say it, because they have actually rotated across to this compound as well. It's just, how many teams are actually in here? I think it's 4 or 5 at this point in time. Sharper does get finished off in 15th place. It's a demolition derby around that compound, and no one's coming out of there alive with all 4, I dare say. Ykikamucow cops a fair bit of damage, but he's coming on through, and this will be a pretty important fight, actually, for Fury and Daytrade. Also, I think for Fury, who still have 4 alive, if they drop 1 or 2 the remaining Daytrade players, and that's going to be disappointing, and it's going to really hinder their chances heading forward in this round. So I guess that's what Daytrade is playing for at this point in time, just to ruin the day for Fury, because I can't see them getting too much done from this position with only 2 alive. How do they rotate out of there?
Look, 4 players from Fury, you've got to think they have an advantage, but you see there's a player here, Nann, swinging around onto Fury from the side angle. It works out as he does. 4 flashes there for the trade as well. Tries to move out in the open, but it's not going to be enough as Fury able to shut things down. Ronon there with the SLR spam, finishes off the job. Fury now going to get themselves a revive as the circle. It centers up that compound with 4-5 teams currently in it. Well, that's still inside as well, so they are safe, but up on the northeastern side, that's not going to be the case. You see Eagle365, Hanzyy there with the Molotov to try and land something through, but it just isn't happening in the way you would have hoped. sSuspekT break the line of sight by throwing down smoke grenades. They realize they need to make a push because, well, their vehicles are gone. They're going to have to try and finish off Unicorn Phoenix and then end up taking their vehicles. We'll see how well it goes as Rogue does end up falling. Hanzyy is there to finish off the flush. 36 Cartel from up the hill, not giving up and still providing pressure. They want these kills because they know that can be the tiebreaker, and that's where they were really lacking last time.
Oh, Dat Blue can't quite get the better of two. MSC into the garage, but still a little bit more work to do here for Julio. He's going to opt for the res, if possible, by the looks of things. And for Unicorn Phoenix, so as that gives them a little bit of a brief respite. But, I mean, Unicorn Phoenix themselves are going to have to move. Eagle 365 are on their way past both MS Chonburi and Unicorn Phoenix. So both of these teams are going to have a bit of a difficult time. HangBo Ditch outside of the building, trying to work his way around, looking for Julio. Find Julio! And that's the end of MSC. 36 Cartel will keep an eye on things, but they're relatively uncontested at the moment. So they're okay, they're happy with how things are going. Down to the south, Fury have to make a move, and, well, where do you go? Surely not to that compound. They've been hearing shots from all the way over there forever. Too many shots to deal with, I dare say. Carlbs from the colony sends a grenade in the direction of inside. It probably won't go deep enough to kill him, but it will definitely do a number to his vehicle.
Well, Kalbs got knocked with a nade in hand, ends up flushing himself out because of it as Alec falls as well. Fury just starting a red zone. The best thing is they don't need to worry about the teams behind, but Ykikamucow flushed out Alec. Unicorn Phoenix Nann do fall as now, well, Colony are going to follow suit out in 11th place. This is a good position for Fury to be working with. They don't have to worry about the squads in the compound because there is a hillside, and obviously any squads that are trying to push out from that compound are going to have to deal with the others. Game home, they lose Clory, so Cerberus get ready to make push of their own. 36 Cartel maybe regretting making so much noise now because all eyes are on them. Well, they've got a big open area they have to run down to be able to make it in any further. Hanzyy throws out some shots, but it's Cherry to return the fire. Takes down Hymus, got the org in hand, wants to do even more damage, but it's not being found. As Eagle 365 now down in 10th. It looks like Cerberus could potentially follow if 36 Cartel can finish this one up.
Fury's sort of running into a bit of trouble here with Game Home as well. Both of those two teams jostling for position down in the south. ArkAngel Predator, you can see, keeping an eye on the shenanigans down there, seeing if they can third party it. CJ definitely on the move. And it'll be Game Home that suffers worst from it. Insight finishing off disgusting with a Molotov. The fight definitely favoring Fury at this point in time, and it's going to get even worse for Game Home when this sandwich comes into effect. CJ spots out Game Home, just bides his time, waiting patiently to see if there's any more information forthcoming. Once his teammate gets there, the shots come through. Fancy footwork keeps that Game Home player alive. I think it was Godnew, but Fludd, as ever, is hunting for some more damage, hunting for some more kills, gets those stats on the board, lock him in. There's another one for Fludd.
Asba falls though. 36 Cartel have already lost one. Evil Patrick is there with the nades over the top, trying their best. Two connectors. Game Home Madong now getting pinned from both sides. Cloris is doing what he can to remain as ArkAngel Predator. They know there's a player around. In comes the push, though. We knew it was going to happen with one of these circle shifts soon enough. Made in Thailand. 3 players left up, doing their best to try and survive as YoungB sends it in. Jacob falls. Extrazila goes down as well. tRycK there with the S12K. Does a lot of damage, but takes a lot of his own. Falls to YoungB as Made in Thailand go down in 9th position. 36 Cartel in 8th. Fury making a push, knowing that Game Home are over here, but also aware that ArkAngel Predator are coming behind. The nade is close, but no kill is found this time around as Cloris tries to find the trade, just playing the rock for everything it's worth. Phase 6 closing in.
That's
one
good.
well-placed nade finishes off the job, banks off the car, and Fury with their 9th kill of the game.
Yeah, Ykikamucow playing basketball at this time. Pops it off the backboard, which was the car, and gets the kill that he wanted. That really opens up the southern side of the map for Fury. However, they have another ever-present threat to deal with, which is ArkAngel Predator, but maybe some signs of life from attack all around to help Fury out. Evil Patrick finished off. ArkAngel Predator now down to just the 3. AljnBOTz looking for Glooms, and he's going to get a helping hand from Mad Dog this time as ArkAngel Predator get a little bit of revenge on attack all around. This game could really go either way. ArkAngel Predator looking okay. Attack all around still have a couple. And then, of course, there's this fight between Seiryu and BN United. Both of these teams have 3 players up and standing at the moment. But Seiryu, a chance for 4 if they can get this res.
Sunshine playing the bottom floor. Don't think being United were aware of it. They are going to be aware of tRycK now as he tries to open up. YungB takes down Sunshine. It's a 3 versus 1 pretty much at this point. As Zesh tries to group up to equalize the fight a little further, he throws down a first aid. How? With the drop shot, comes up over the top, and tRycK finishes off the job. Seiryu Esports clean up BN United, taking control of that compound. But Fury, well, they hear this and they smell blood in the water. They are moving in from above. Fludd is there, 3x M4 in hand. Looks like he maybe spotted the player swinging out to the right. Switches his weapon around at the worst possible time, and he's spotted out by dNial now. Trying to find further angles, the sprays coming through, but nothing really connecting. Seiryu Esports, well, they burnt through so much utility already. They don't really have the frag grenades, the Molotovs that they want on this fight. But Fury, they have the high ground. If they can just hold their nerve and keep those smokes there to break the line of sight, they could come out on top. But Seiryu, they are working so closely together. They are taking peaks at the same time. They're not having anyone overexpose themselves, and they don't have to move, most importantly, with the current zone position.
Well, they've managed to get Fludd back up, so that's step 1 of the job done by Fury. He'll heal himself back, and Fury will continue with 3. From here, now with Seiryu having to push uphill in the direction of Fury, as you say, with a distinct lack of utility. Probably back Fury to be able to finish off that engagement if there's no third party involved. A little bit of a teaser there, maybe on the bottom right, Chunks. Winner, chicken dinner. Fury for match 2, not sure. That was obviously week number 1.
It said 36 Cartel had the highest winner chicken dinner percentage earlier, and about 5 seconds after it went off screen, they got eliminated. So, look, you got to take it with a grain of salt. We'll see. It's Mad Dog. Tries to get aggressive onto JanQ, but can't find the angle. He knows the player's there, and you can see ArkAngel Predator maybe a little bit nervous about it. Currently, by the way, 16th place with 2 kills, but all it takes is that 1 win, and they'll be all the way up in seconds. So, playing it smart, not getting over-aggressive. It's the way you should when you have yourself a good zone position. You're a player down, you just make the most out of it. Farm the damage, by all means, but don't overexpose yourself to try and get a kill. Just keep squads away, and that's what they're trying to do onto JanQ, but it just isn't working. They know he's nearby, and they know he's a threat, but they can't overextend, because as soon as they do, Jayers will look over and try and finish them off because of it.
I mean, I think it's a good point as well about ArkAngel Predator. They did have a bit of a slow start to week 1, but they finished very high. And so that could very much happen again for ArkAngel Predator. As you say, only the 2 kills so far, but a win here puts them right up towards the top of the scoreboard. Probably won't be able to overtake Easy Esports, even if they pick up every single kill that's remaining, but it'll put them in a stone's throw distance. Fury still on the move here as well. Don't have too far to go. It's just setting up the US as a little bit of extra cover from the north if necessary, which I think it will be at one point once that zone does inevitably push Fury forward. They really don't have a lot of cover to play with, as you sort of mentioned earlier on in the piece. This is pretty dire straits as far as the cover is concerned, and CJ is creeping around on the western flank, but as of yet doesn't have an angle. Fury really keeping an eye more so on what's happening for Seiryu inside of that compound.
Feels like right now, Seiryu are the only ones who really have anything to work with in terms of positioning. Once they get out of that compound, they have a bit of a ridge attack all round, playing this ridge of their own as best as possible, but with only 2 players. As soon as JanQ peeks up and gets himself a knock, they'll be able to get the trade, or will they? As How and another player have just fallen. They push over the top. Jayers finishes off Mad Dog. That's all of ArkAngel Predator out in just a matter of seconds. JanQ with a huge play, capitalizing onto the knock that Fury were able to get. Well, they know now that there's a solo up here somewhere. If they can sweep through, finish off the job, then attack all around are in some serious trouble. Seiryu Esports also starting to move out the compound. It's Jayers who needs to watch out for this, but knowing that Fury are coming up over the top, it's going to cause some real issues. Insight there, just anchoring to the west, making sure no one can sneak through. It's phase 8, remember. It comes down to the dot after this, so it might just become a battle of who has the most smokes and who can use them most effectively.
It's a massive pressure reliever for Fury, though, because look at all of the control of the map that they have to play with now. Instead of being stuck in like 10%, 5% of the remaining zone down to the south there, they can really start to sweep through this entire western flank. They've got some high ground. They've got actual defilade to play with, as opposed to really just being on a knife's edge between life and death. sort of being gate-kept by Seiryu. So attack all around have really helped them out in a sense. I'm not sure that they've helped themselves out too much, to be fair, because attack all around now do have to deal with Fury. They have Seiryu on the side as well, but that's a nice grenade onto Insight. And that'll be a difficult res to pull off. Ykikamucow is going to give it a crack. There's another nade headed in his direction. Not quite close enough to finish Ykikamucow or Insight. And so I guess, again, Fury might just get away with another res. This one from JS, again, looks like it'll be close. And it is, in the end, actually enough to get the better of Insight. The res just couldn't quite come through for Ykikamucow. He had to get off it. So now we're into a 2-on-2-on-2.
Fury doesn't look like they have any utility whatsoever left. Jay has just burnt through his final frag grenade. At least he confirmed a flush out of it. Seiryu in a similar position, after having to fight their way out the compound. Jay gets taken down low, but it's the zone in the end that gets the better of him. And a tackle round now with only one player left up as Ykikamucow just lays prone in the bush, hoping for the best. The smoke starts to dissipate. Seiryu, they've switched their attention. They know that Fury are going to try and third party onto this. Fludd, he's spotted out, caught with the headshot, but the body finishes off the job. NiAL pushing through as 8 kills so far for Seiryu. Ykikamucow there does some damage. It might end up coming down to a 3-way solo battle as NiAL goes for the sprays. He gets the trade, and that's a tackle round eliminated. Fludd bleeds out. Ykikamucow in a 1 versus 1, the barrel in hand. He's not got the 8k hollow. OCE fans have to be nervous, but a lot more confident after that headshot connects, gets the knock. A flashbang gets returned on